again with another exciting interview. This interview is with another one of our members on our membership site. And now, how long, your name is what? Norm. And our members will probably recognize you because you contribute a lot to our site, and we really appreciate that. How long have you been in Thailand now?
Must be 7 weeks.
7
maybe
weeks.
Almost 2 months.
Oh, okay. And so far, now I know that we've talked about that it was sort of a strange time to plan to come over just because of this is the dry, hot, smoky season. So you're dealing with that. I know that's been an issue for you, and your wife is here with you.
Yes.
So she came over as well. So, excuse me. We'll talk about the hot, smoky part first. We'll get that out of the way. I try and warn people.
Yeah, it's much better now because we've had some rain, but it was bad. Probably worse than any city I've been in.
Yeah.
As far as pollution goes.
Yeah, we sit in a valley. It's sort of like the LA basin.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that we're bordered all the way around with mountains here, because to the east we can't really see them from here, but they're there. So this haze or whatever we have will sit in here until it gets one of two things, either a strong wind to blow it out or the rains. And normally they don't come until the end of April. Last year they came a little early, and it was a welcome relief. And so far we had, I was actually out of town when that storm blew through. But I could see the results at the house, so there was some really strong winds. I mean, I had stuff that was inside, near windows, were blown across the room. So there was some strong wind, and I saw by your pictures on the membership site as well that got some pretty heavy rain. So
Very heavy, yeah.
I've noticed since I've been back that it's changed a little bit, and what's going to happen is it's going to get. Everybody excuse the noise, they're grinding some fresh coffee for us here. That's a good sound if you're having the coffee, a bad sound if you're doing video, right? So anyway, yeah, eventually we'll get the rains that are coming so often that the ground will become saturated and they won't be able to do the burning. And so that's what we're hoping for. I think I saw you wrote on the membership site that when you're on the motorbike you use no mask.
No, I wasn't. I was on the bike, had a bike for 3 days. I just had rented a bike for 3 days, and that was pretty exciting. First time on a bike in 30 years.
Yeah.
That was bad enough. And surprisingly, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
And what I found is like if you're here for a short period of time, like we were last year, and you look at this traffic, and if you've never seen traffic like this, you think, God, I'm never going to drive in that because it's just too crazy.
It does appear that way, doesn't it?
And after you've been here for a while, it really isn't.
It isn't. No.
And we spent a couple of weeks walking and being in tuk-tuks, and I'm walking the traffic, and I spent 27 years as a bus driver in Vancouver.
No, really?
Chain cooters. And so I'm watching the traffic and I'm seeing how it goes. And by the time I got on the motorcycle, I was quite comfortable.
I always say it's organized chaos. There's a method to their madness.
Yeah.
And at first it looks really chaotic, but it's an organized chaos. It's like everybody, and I'm going to harp on this constantly, they're going to hear me. Anytime you're over here and you're any form of transportation, make every move very slow and deliberate. The people will know what you're doing and they'll accommodate you for whatever it is. Did you find that to be true?
Yep. I made one sudden move and almost took out a motorcycle.
Yeah. No sudden moves. The sudden moves are not a good thing.
He was a much better driver than I was. He came that close to my mirror and he swerved.
And did he honk his horn?
No. They just looked back and looked at me, and then they carried on, and that was the end of it. And
on the way here for the interview.
I pulled in because I was going into a gas station anyway, and I thought they would come back.
Yeah, yell and scream like they would back home, right?
Yeah.
Was he a crazy driver? You could have killed me.
Yeah, no, it's noticeably quiet traffic.
Yeah. Which is a lot different than some other countries in Southeast Asia. And so, yeah, that's a good thing. On the way here for the interview, I was actually at the red light, and it turned green, and some girl came, and I don't know if she was even Thai, but she, like all of a sudden got halfway through the intersection, her light's already red, and we're starting to go, and she realized that she had a red light, like when she already got in the middle of the intersection, and then she like stopped and panicked and looked because we're all like coming at her, and everybody just stopped, let her go, and she was all embarrassed and everything. There wasn't a horn honk, there wasn't a yelling, there wasn't anything, and she went on her way, we went on our way, and so. It's a good thing. Now, it's a game more of inches or centimeters here than it is back home. We give people a wide berth when we're driving. Usually, a couple hundred meters at least, or you're invading their space.
Yeah.
Where here, it's a game of inches, as you know. And so once you become accustomed to that, then know that that's normal, then it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine walking across the street now. We're getting used to it.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about prices for a minute. You made a comment in the forum on the membership site the other day that I thought was real interesting. And I forget how you worded it. It was something about how much money it costs you here compared to back home. It was interesting the way you worded it. Do you remember what you said?
Well, I'm probably... What it's costing us to live here is probably what I'm saving on not living there. I'm still paying rent at home, and I'm still paying utilities.
Oh, okay. Now I get it. Okay.
But by cutting my cable and my internet and not having gas for the car and groceries,
I get it.
That
now.
money is paying for all our expenses here. So it's not costing us. Really
it's not costing you any more to be over here,
except for the airfare that costs us to get here.
Well,
but
that's
our living expenses are probably, including the rent, are probably what we were spending at home anyway to live.
Well, that's very interesting.
Unfortunately, I'm still paying rent.
Yeah. But that's okay, because I keep telling people you got to come over and experience it before you know that it's what you really need to do. And it might
absolutely.
be here, it might be ballet, it might be anywhere. But you need to go settle in, spend time there to see if it fits you. But the interesting thing about that is, and the distinction I want to make, is that what you said, because a lot of people say, well, I can't afford to come do that.
Yeah.
And what you're basically saying is, okay, yeah, you got to come up with a plane ticket to get over. But by what you're saving, now I hope y'all are getting this, by what you're saving by not being home because of the expense of meals, which are going to be a lot, the expense of insurance or something that you would have, you can cut back. Some insurance companies let you put things on hold while you're gone. Cable bills, all these other bills that you incur back home, by eliminating those, it almost is a wash, except for the plane ticket.
Yeah.
So there's no reason not to come over and try it.
I mean, obviously, if you stay in an expensive hotel, that's going to change real fast.
Well, it's interesting that you're saying that it's not costing you more because the place you're staying is very nice. It's a serviced apartment.
This is very nice.
Yeah.
This is very nice.
You didn't cut your lifestyle much here.
Well, I think we improved. The apartment is actually bigger than the one we have back home.
And it's now, does it have a separate bedroom?
Yes.
Okay. So then it's probably about 42 square meters or something. Is that correct?
Yeah, at least. It's on their website.
Okay.
What it is.
We'll go ahead and tell them. Let's go ahead and tell them where you're at.
Green Hill Place.
Green Hill
Place, yeah.
And we're doing the interview here, and what I'm going to do is, you're going to notice at the beginning of this video, before it plays, I have a little thing that's going to show it goes starting from Taipei Gate, and a little car is going to zoom around the map and end up here, so they'll see actually where we are.
First looked, came out once through Chiang Mai Properties and once through Chiang Mai House, and I don't know which one brought us here, but the first apartment we looked was a little further out, and then we thought, oh, it's so far, from the old city. Mm-hmm. And then we looked around for a couple of days at some really horrible places and some really expensive small places. And then we saw this and we went, it's got a big pool, it's got
pool, fitness center, we're in the coffee shop.
It's got a mini mart.
A mini mart. Let's see, what else? And you have a kitchen in your room?
We have, it's a full kitchen.
Full kitchen?
The downside, there's the two buildings. The older building has all the utensils and everything you need, and a microwave, I think. This newer building is considerably cheaper, but it has nothing.
So you sort of got to supply some of those things.
You need a trip to Tesco before you.
Okay. And so with a bedroom, a living room, kitchen, what are you paying a month?
$18,500.
$18,500. So about $600 a month.
There's a TV, there's two TVs, two air conditioners.
Two TVs, two airs. Very nice. Wi-Fi?
Yeah, the internet's included in the one bedroom at least. It's included in the price.
Okay.
And it's wired, it's not Wi-Fi, it's hardwired.
Which is more stable.
Yeah. There's nothing bad I can say about this place. It's
okay, so you realize that just in what you pay for incidentals back home, you can live over here and live in a fairly nice place. I mean, a lot of people are in a one room, hotel room when they're over here. So you're staying in a pretty nice place.
Yeah, we wanted the pool.
The pool's nice, especially hot, dry season.
Yeah, we wanted to be very close to the city, and everything else was just better. And my wife drinks a lot of water, especially in this weather. We both do. And so
you don't have to lug water
we lug it
far.
out to 7-Eleven, but they got it in the mini mart.
Yeah.
And then we were here a few days, and then we found out that the hotel or the front desk will supply water.
Oh, really?
For 50 baht. We had a 250 baht deposit and 50 baht.
For the bigger jugs?
For a case of 20 liters.
Okay, a case, okay.
So you go down to the front desk, you pay them 50 baht.
And they deliver it up to your room?
Bring it right to your room.
Very cool.
And so we always have lots of water to drink. It's fine.
Okay.
Most of the people here are here for longer periods of time. They rent for, 1 month and more. Their website says 2 months deposit and 1 to 3 months. But they only ask for 1 month deposit, and 1 month is fine.
Okay. So generally, and I know you're off when you leave here, and you're going to be leaving soon and going to check out some more places. So far, where does Thailand fit on the list of some place that you would consider retiring to?
Oh, we'd consider it. The longer we're here, the more it seems like home.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Because I saw you right after you got here the first time.
Yeah,
and I there was a little bit of unsettling because there were some things that happened when you first got here and stuff.
Yeah,
getting settled in
is a challenge. And I'd recommend anybody coming here first time to get a place like this for a month or two.
Yeah. It's a good home base. It's a good base to work out of.
You're just not going to be happy in some of the cheap guest houses. And if you stay in a hotel at $80 or $100 a night, not a lot of money.
And what I recommend is if this is a level that they can afford on a long-term basis, they need to live in it. Well, and say if it isn't, say I don't want them to be a holiday and then come back to live and they have to live in someplace smaller and then be unhappy.
Most of the studios in here, in this building, in the new building, they start at about $275 a month.
Oh wow! Wow, we'll have to come back and check that out. Put it on the. That's nice.
Cheap.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's real nice. Boy, that didn't sound good on the microphone. I'm sure.
They do have two-bedroom. They do have some two-bedroom in here too. So if you're coming with family, there's 2 bedrooms as well.
Okay.
Most of them are studios. A few 1 bedrooms, a few 2 bedrooms.
Okay. So
and they seem to have quite a few bedrooms.
So, are you happy with the cost of food?
We wanted a kitchen so we could cook because we don't want to be going out.
How much cooking have you been doing?
Less and less and less.
Yeah, I mean, there's almost no need to cook. It's so cheap to eat out. There's food everywhere. It's always available.
Yeah, we eat here a lot because the food is really good and it's cheap
really?
Here. And we'll go down the street or we'll eat when we're in town. And basically, it's comfort food and snacks and stuff.
Yeah.
Now we're not really cooking meals, and you start looking what it costs.
You start missing some of that when you first get here. You say, "Oh, I'm going to miss some of my foods that I'm used to eating once or twice a week back home." But the more you hang out here and the more you eat the Thai food, the more you get your favorites. You just end up with a new set of favorites, don't you?
Yeah, and we never ate a lot of Thai food before.
Oh, really?
There's a Thai restaurant right across the street from where we live, and we've never been there. But we're getting a little more inventive, and we're eating a little more, and we love the food. Yeah.
So we talked about transportation. We talked about cost of food. What else have you been either impressed by, or there could have been more of an improvement on? Either way, because I want to give everybody the full story here.
You know, I was first in Thailand in 1991. I had spent 4 days in Bangkok, and that was it. And I absolutely loved it. Came just on a short trip, and just in and out. And I thought, gotta go back there someday. And my wife and I came last year and did the tourist thing. We came to Chiang Mai first for 3 days, and then we went to Phuket and other places. And we had a week at the end, and then my wife wanted to come back up here. So we came back here for a week. But we still didn't see very much. So this time it's like having a motorcycle, having the car, getting outside the city. Just, we still haven't done tourist things.
No, that's good.
We haven't done.
You don't need to. I mean, because if you come live here, you're not going to do that.
No. We didn't do the elephant trekking because we did it last year. It's absolutely fantastic.
It is cool. The elephants are cool.
Didn't want to.
People have done the lion thing. I haven't been to the lions, and I heard that that's really cool. I mean, laying over the lions.
I have mixed feelings about.
Well, and you should. I mean, the whole tigers. Yeah, the tiger kingdom is what it's called, not lions. But and you should. But I sort of see the Sea World. It's like there's some of these tigers and elephants that are sacrificial, so to speak. But once you spend time with these magnificent animals, one-on-one, it helps you have more of a feeling of wanting to save these animals and make sure that they are preserved. So
I mean, that's you hear a lot of
they play a big role on that.
You read some complaints about some of these elephant places, and it's for the money and blah blah blah. But the lumbering isn't there anymore. There's no work for the elephants.
That's right.
They've declined, but what are you going to do with them if they're not making money?
And once you've spent time up close and personal with all these things, and then you read something in the paper where that an elephant was killed and its tusks cut off or its feet cut off for stools, you feel something where you might not have felt that before, where you say, no, this can't happen. And I think that's the upside of it.
I think most of the places are doing a good job protecting them. That's just the impression.
It's a big business for them. They need to protect them.
It's a big business.
Yeah.
And there's some people who think they should just all be free, but.
And well, the problem is they're more protected now than they would be being free because there's a price on their head, literally.
Yeah.
So another thing I want to talk about before we end our interview. I mean, everything so far has been positive. First of all, is there anything that you had higher expectations of that haven't lived up to the expectations?
No, not really.
Cool.
Biggest problem, and for us, both of us, has been not speaking the language.
Yeah.
And not because we can't communicate. It's just everybody's been so friendly and so nice.
You wish you could.
And you're embarrassed because you can't.
And I'm trying to put more and more resources on the membership site about this, and I'm trying to get trying to work some deals with some companies that have some products that'll make it easier that I'm going to be able to offer.
That's the one thing I would say to anybody is with all your planning and everything else, learn some of the language before you come here.
Yeah.
It'll just make it so much better because everybody is fantastic. We try to go to places that aren't touristy.
Yeah, which then you need more to have more grasp on
There's
the
a
language.
market just down the street here, and we go there and we probably maybe in an hour there we might see 2 or 3 other corners.
Yeah.
But it opens at 6 o'clock at night. It's packed and it's great and it's cheap.
Have you felt welcome here?
Oh yeah.
How have you been treated by Thai people? As a whole, how have you been treated by indigenous people?
Really fantastic, yeah. Really fantastic. Everybody's really nice. They said there was I parked down at the mall down here a couple of times, and I wasn't paying attention when I had the car, and I parked one day, and I parked way on the other side of the parking lot, and I was getting my stuff together, and the guy from the booth was running across the parking lot, and to give me my 10 baht back, because it was only 10 baht and I'd give them 20. And it's like, really, it's
refreshing though, isn't it?
It is. And that kind of thing happens all the time.
Now,
it's too bad I couldn't get my wife to talk on camera.
Yeah, I know.
Very shy,
I wanted his wife to come because we have couples and we have women, single women, that are interested in doing this. How does she feel about it? You can be her spokesperson.
She loves it. She's always been very nervous about going out in places. She didn't want to come to Asia last year at all.
Oh, really?
It was my retirement present, so she sort of had to go where I wanted to go. That was her gift. But we're here, and she'll walk out to the 7-Eleven by herself. And she probably wouldn't do that in most places. She just feels very comfortable, very relaxed here. And the funny thing is...
How has she been treated as a woman here?
Really good, I think, because she hasn't said anything otherwise. And I would have heard about it. I know that she went to the Dominican Republic once by herself, and I think she had a good time.
Not a good experience.
But, I mean, we've probably met more people here than we know at home. Everybody was friendly.
People are friendly and outgoing. Even I've noticed, and I've said this before in the video, that even foreigners that are closed or have barriers up back home, when they come here and they're in a society and around people that don't have those barriers up, they become more relaxed and more open. Yeah. I mean, I was waiting for you, and there was a guy, he's swimming around in the pool, and he says, "Hey, aren't you the retirement guy?" And I'm like,
getting famous.
Yeah, famous, yeah, right. Anyway, and he said, well, something really nice. He said the reason that he was here was because of watching the videos. And back home, even if he'd recognized me, back in the States, nobody would probably even say anything. It would be like, oh, just stay to yourself, don't open your mouth, just...
Yeah.
But here it's like, it's open, hey, aren't you the retirement guy?
Everybody's quite friendly. I think it was the first couple of days we were here, we ran into our neighbor in the hall, and he does something with flight training or something. He works here and in Burma. He invited us down to the pub, and a bunch of other people, and it's like, for us that's strange. I mean, where we're living in Vancouver, I mean, people are very friendly, but if you're in an apartment building and you're in the suburbs, you're in your car or in your house.
Yeah, you go from your room to the car.
You don't meet a lot of people locally, so it's a different kind of thing, but everybody here's been great, and we certainly will come back. Probably not the same time of year.
Yeah.
We're looking at probably coming back in November.
Yeah, November's a beautiful time to be here.
And see.
Yeah, you'll love it then.
Yeah. I'm still not sure we're going home yet.
Yeah.
The thing is that
go for vacation somewhere. Come back after when the rent's done.
We were planning on just going to Bali for the 10 days because we got a 60-day visa and you got to renew your visa anyway. So we thought, well, we'll go down for 10 days down in Bali. But then it was so smoky that we decided not to come back up here. And so instead of Bali and then coming back here, we're going to do Bali in Malaysia, Philippines, then back here for a few days.
Yeah, that sounds like a good tour.
Unless I come back to get more dental work done.
Yeah, as you said, some more. Go ahead and tell them what you got for how much.
I actually did post it on...
Yeah, I know you did. Go ahead and tell the people watching on YouTube
I
what
went
you
back
got.
and I got a checkup. And they took 2 x-rays and they charged me 400 baht for a checkup with the 2 x-rays. My wife got a checkup just to check on the work that she'd got, the emergency work that she got done at the hospital. They didn't charge her anything for her checkup.
Really?
I went back yesterday. I had a cleaning and I had an appointment with a radiologist. At home, the cleaning is done by a hygienist. Right?
Yeah.
Here, the cleaning was done by a periodontist with an assistant. Then I saw the radiologist, and she did panoramic X-ray and a 3D CT scan. And spent about 45 minutes with me going over the CT scan until she found the problem. It turns out I have a tooth that should have 1 root, and it has 2. And I've had 3 or 4 surgeries in the last 2 years trying to find this problem, and all is there.
Yeah.
And so she found it. The whole thing cost me $3,800.
Which
That's
is
the CT scan, the X-rays, the panoramic, the consultation, the cleaning, the checkup, and so it's about $120.
$120. Yeah, unbelievable, huh?
And I said I probably am not going to have time to get all the work done and come back because they're going to need 3 or 4 appointments to get this. But she said, well, she'll just put all the images and the report on a DVD for me, and I can pick that up and I can take it back to my office.
Amazing. Amazing.
You know, so
one thing I want you to address real quick before we end the video, and we don't need to elaborate on it or anything like that, but you've had some health issues that got you to reevaluate the work ethic, lifestyle, things like that. And you don't need to elaborate on what the health issues were, but you sort of had an epiphany or a wake-up call. And could you just share that about, not waiting to start, and I'll let you go.
Well, even after all my health issues, I've had issues for the last, probably since it started when I was about 55. I'm 60-something, 63 now. Retired now for about 14 months. Liked my job. It was like getting up late, playing on the internet, going home, and they paid me for it. So.
Tough job.
But eventually, it's like, it's actually my wife, because she had been working part-time for the last couple of years, and she'd been trying to get me to retire. When she finally came here, it's like, I think that triggered for her to retire too. Because it was like, she was scared of almost everything she did here last year. And one of the things she said is she'd rather, fall off the elephant than die at her desk.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's
some people do die at their desk.
They do.
That's not a good thing.
And actually, I've talked to several people here that, for whatever health reasons that they had, they just decided, heck with it.
Yeah.
And I'm going.
Well, a lot of people, well, I'll do it when, and the when never comes. And so at some point you got to say, hey, life is passing me by. I'm not getting any younger. Things are not getting any cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah, you should do it whenever you can get the absolute minimum that you need to live on. And I could have probably gone 3 or 4 years earlier, and probably should have. But
do you think it would have affected your health by being over here in this environment?
I don't know. I mean, I
do you feel less stressed? I mean, you say you had a good job. But you say you had a great job. It's like playing and getting paid. I did. But you still get that reaction,
I did, but it's like, especially with this weather. I mean, my wife's the one that's the beach fan and the pool fan, and I'd rather be doing other things. And now we come down here at noon and we stay here till 3, and it's like, I'm good with this.
And it took practice to do that, didn't it? Because we're so used to having distractions. I got to be doing something. And I try and explain that sometimes not doing something is doing something. There's never nothing happening. Well, it's just what you focus on.
I can see guys that are coming here and you got a week's vacation, and a week or 2 weeks vacation, you want to see as much as you can, do as much as you can. We sort of came here and we started doing a little of that, and it's like, hey, we're going to be here 7 or 8 weeks at least. And we don't need to see all the
fill the time. You can fill the time with just being here.
And when we have
relaxing.
When we have gone out and it's 37 degrees and we're hiking around town, I'm thinking, why are we doing this?
Yeah, right.
You can go out at night.
That's right. You have plenty of time.
There's not a
time schedule.
So yeah, I think if I had, I'll put it this way, if I had done this at 45 or 50 instead of 60, I don't think I would have had the heart problems or
Interesting.
I think because I'm surprised at how little, even after reading your site, but I'm talking to people, I'm still surprised at how cheap things are.
How cheap, and if you don't use the bike all the time, and how much more you're moving around, just because the lifestyle's set up that way here, the culture's set up that way. You just mentioned a while ago, back home, and it's the same way where I come from, is you go from from your box, which is your house, to the box, which is your car, the box, which is your office, back to, and we live this box life. We're here. Like, even if you park a bike or park a car somewhere, you get up and you walk a little bit, and you go see different things, and you're moving around, and there's just more physical activity in daily life here.
Yeah, we're walking far more than we did at home, and even when we had the car here and we had a motorcycle for a while, we're still walking a lot, and we're at home.
And it's not boring like back home. You pass nothing.
Seriously,
except another house.
Seriously,
we're here. Everywhere you're looking, there's businesses. There's people doing something. There's always something to check out.
Yeah, I mean,
it's entertaining.
At home, I would drive to the 7-Eleven, and it's probably
you and
closer
everybody
to this
else.
One, But I mean, it's just the way it is, and
it's our culture set up that way.
It's warm and it's nice here, and like I said, we go out for a walk, and I'm trying to get my wife to slow down, because she just retired. But she'll get out, and she's trying to get somewhere.
Yeah, the outcome is to get there instead of the outcome just to
and look what's going on around you, and she's getting there. She's really, I can really see the difference in her eyes.
That's good.
And yeah, we are probably about the only couple that are on your side. Lyle and
yeah, there's a few, and hopefully there'll be a lot more. And I appreciate the interview. It's good to see you.
It's good to be here.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to see you back again after you go take your.
Absolutely sure.
Once the air cleans up, I think I'll see you back.
And even that wasn't. It was bad for a few weeks, but we can go somewhere else. And you say the weather's clearer down south.
Oh yeah, you go down to the beaches and you get that sea breeze coming in. There's just no smoke and haze down there. It's really nice. And I swore this year I'd be down there. That's not working out too good yet. But hey, I still got time.
You gotta stop working so hard.
Yeah, I still got time. I can still get down there. Hey, when it comes to retiring in anywhere in the world, remember there's
always an option.
Always an option, and this is just one of them. So hopefully I'm going to get out too and start talking about Cambodia and some of these other places as well, because people need all the options they can get. So thanks to Norm for the interview, and until we meet again, JC out.